Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 4 of the Duel. It's your host, Dhernbjj, and
Vibe, aka
let's
Jules.
go. How was your week, Jules?
It was good. A lot of stuff happening in gaming. A lot of games were being played, so I'm hyped for this one.
Yeah, we were able to get to the state of play that had happened. Then we had Summer Game
Yep.
Festival, and I remember last episode we were talking
Yep.
about, hey, this episode is going to be much better than the last, just because we're going to get all the announcements that were going to come out, so we could finally soak it all in. We had the week, so now we've got all the official announcements, and I'm excited for it. But before we get into it, I just want to say Happy Father's Day to all those gamers out there that have kids. Happy Father's Day to your parents and so forth, and even to the fathers in gaming in the
Yeah.
fictional world. So
Happy Father's Day to the dudes who are holding their baby and still playing COD at the same exact time.
I
Shout out
love
to you
I
guys.
love those TikTok videos. Honestly, it's like awesome. There was like one guy that was like holding like his baby while he like and playing with like
Yeah.
on this thing. He's like, yo, I'm sorry, people get their gaming in, and it's a way to relax. You know, it's a way to keep yourself up, especially when you have a new
Oh, yeah,
one,
100%.
right? So jumping right into it, okay? Resident Evil Requiem 9.
I know you're happy about this one.
Oh, dude, I'm so excited. February 27th, this coming on now, bro. It's this one. I'm happy that we're now going to get a Resident Evil game that's going to continue the franchise. Because what it feels like that Resident Evil's been doing, Jules, is that they've been doing one to continue the story, and then the next year it'd be a remake. So I was already prepared that maybe we were going to get Code Veronica X, because that's one of the more recent Resident Evils that has not been remade. Because you can still play Resident Evil 5 and it feels the same, just like how it did in Resident Evil 4 that before it was remade, just because the graphics were not as sharp as the last remake was, but they had that the camera that was over the top, so to make it nice and smooth, I would have thought that Code Veronica would have got the remake. But hey, I'll take a new addition to the franchise. So now for this one, okay, the trailer was very vague. It was a nice one of those like mic drops, like, yo, you're getting another Resident Evil. You guys wanted this, go for it. So this story now is going to follow Grace Ashcroft. And now, sadly, I didn't get to play Resident Evil Outbreak when it was on PS2, just because I didn't have that multiplayer attachment. Do you remember that multiplayer attachment that they had for the PS2? It went on the back of the PS2. Dude, so
I used to play Killzone.
So just a side topic, my thing did not work. Like I had a 100-foot wire to connect to my router, but the disc to like get it activated just did not work. And you know, it was already packaged, but they were not selling that thing at all at that time. This wasn't 2025. So back to the story. Grace Ashcroft, who is a daughter of one of the characters from Resident Evil Outbreak, believe her name. It's not Ash. I'm blanking out right now. But now that this game got announced, the Outbreak player count has gone through the roof. So everyone wants to know who this lady is. But now we get her daughter, and we're going back to Raccoon City. This is the first game in Lord knows how long that we're finally going back to Raccoon City. So
Yeah, I saw all over Twitter, like that was like the big thing. Like everybody's like, yo, Raccoon City's back, we're back. And like I've dived into Resident Evil. I'm not like too big on it, but like I've played a few of the games. But this is a major thing that we're going back.
yeah.
Can you indulge me? Like, let me know, like, what's the premise? Like, why is everybody so hype about this?
So the big thing is, if no one has played Resident Evil 2 or 3, it is super important that to know this is where all the madness kind of not started, but like this would make the whole world AWOL, where you had the zombie outbreak, the streets were flooded with the zombies, and they had to nuke the city, and that was your main thing in RE2, and the RE3 was get out.
Is this
city.
where Umbrella Corp like founded?
Umbrella Corp was not founded in. They had an underground, like city basically.
Okay.
So it was an underground city that they were basically controlling everything that goes on in Raccoon City. It was like, yeah, you have your politics, but in reality, you had to clear it with Umbrella. Like they literally had an underground facility underneath the city. So that's where everyone's like, oh, this is crazy. So they nuked the city by the government just to save the outbreak from being passed on. But in reality, it's bioterrorism. People are somehow going to get the samples on it and sell it to the black market and so forth. So that's where that when we got the nuke in Raccoon City, we were like, okay, that's it. Because if you play RE4, RE5, RE6, even RE6, we don't go back to Raccoon City. So this is why this is such a nice thing that in the trailer that we saw the Raccoon City precinct like all tarnished. So this is cool. And there's a lot of theories out there that the nuke didn't do that much damage because underground is the Umbrella Corporation, and it was like a little crater that the nuke did. So maybe we're gonna go underground. Maybe there's a building that didn't get hit so bad, but there was a spot in the RE outbreak. I was looking at Twitter that it was a hospital that a lot of devs got to play the demo, and one of the levels was at this hospital. So it's like Raccoon City, yeah, it got hit, but some places are still around, even though it got nuked. So,
and then as far as gameplay, like, are we going back to like the classic? If you know anything about this, are we going back to like the classic freeze cameras, like over the shoulder, where it's static frames as you're walking through hallways? Like
no. So I think that freestyle camera is extinct now. It's almost the only way you're going to be able to play is you got to download the classics. But everything. So the funny thing, the great thing about this one is that it's either first person or third person. You could switch back and forth. So they did not negate RE7 and Village because it was a first person. So it's like, yeah, you can still have your choices of first person or the over shoulder third person. So that's the cool part. So you can either play how it was in the remakes that they gave, or you can play how they did while they were continuing the saga. So they're giving you the choice. I think I'm
definitely go. Yeah, first person sounds like it's gonna be a good thing for me because I like 7. 7, like the whole first person aspect that changed the game for me. And then 5, third person, it felt a little bit more arcadey. The classic stick cameras, like when it was stuck in the top corner of the screen, or like those weird hallway angles and the dogs jump at you, like stuff like that. I kind of miss because they made for more jump scares. But
yeah, I was thinking of playing like Code Veronica again because once again, those games back in the day were not how games that are now, where it's like 80 hours to complete. Like those games were maybe 12 hours, I would say. So I've had like some type of hunger to go back to it, and I guess this announcement kind of helps me to want to do that because I was just praying that they were going to have a Code Veronica remake. So, okay, I could finally beat the game that I didn't beat in the series. But you know what? We gotta move forward in the franchise. And that's where I'm happy with and definitely going to be able to platinum it. So I'm excited. This is a big this was I think the biggest announcement in the Summer Game Festival.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely indulge in this one. I missed out on Village. Like I played a little bit of Village, but I missed out on it. I'm gonna go back to this one. Though.
So I'm gonna tell you and anyone who hasn't played Village, dude. If you were to drop me in Village, I literally could like probably play blindfold and know where to go and where everything's at. Like I was so happy I got to 100% that. And funny story before we move on to forward was that I caught COVID like as Village was gonna get released. So I was like. Not at the peak of COVID, so it was like I had the week and a half off. I was like, "Yo, Village comes out on Friday." I was like, "This is awesome." But
you were just sick, just playing Village.
So it was like I remember it was like midnight, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna play, dude." Even though I slept like 5 times in the day because of like the side effects, bro, I like played for like 20 minutes. I was like, I gotta go to bed. Woke up early the next day, played it all through. I think I kid you not, like I 100% that game because I got it on Steam like within 4 days. It was.
Did you play now like on your PC, on PS? Like what platform are you playing this on?
That one on Village I played on PC because I wanted the best graphics as much as possible. I have my PS5 back. I can't remember if I had a PS5 back then, but I kind of wish I played on PS5 just because I love the trophy sounds and I was doing the keyboard and mouse, so it was cool. But my graphics definitely played the way it should have played, I would say. So I was happy with it. This time though, I'm definitely gonna go PS5.
Yeah, we gotta see that platinum trophy come back.
Yeah, I need my platinums back. But also, hopefully, that with this game being out, it goes into our next topic that hey, maybe you can't play this at home. Maybe you got some work, you got places to travel because now we got the Xbox Ally that just been announced, and another.
This one's interesting.
Yeah, man. Yeah. It's like, do you think let me ask you a question. Do you think we're going back to the era of handhelds where it was PSPs, Nintendo DS? Xbox never had a handheld during that time.
No, no. They didn't really have one. I mean, Nintendo was with Xbox was with Microsoft. I don't think they had a handheld. Not one that I can remember, because I remember like the classics was PlayStation with the PSPs, PS Vitas, Game Boy, of course, Nintendo with the Advanced SPs, the DS, all that stuff, and then the Switch came out. But this one caught me by surprise because I remember a few years ago, Microsoft was like, "Hey, we're not making no more hardware. We're going to be strictly a software like based company." They opened up their Game Pass to Steam. They're going to not have a lot of exclusive anymore. Like a lot of stuff is coming to PlayStation. Um,
You
so I
mean
was very
Gears of
surprised when
War?
they're like, "Yeah, stuff like Gears of War." I
No,
think
because you
Halo
said
was
Last of
announced.
Us. You said Last of Us is coming to
Oh, sorry.
PlayStation.
No, because like they had a lot of exclusives that was only like on Xbox that they opened up. They opened up their IPs and it was like Steam,
Yeah.
PlayStation, all that stuff. And like I didn't think they were gonna make like any more hardware. So I was like, okay. And then this came out, and I was like, oh, okay. Like this is interesting. Like now they're coming to the handheld game, and right now we have two like giants right now with the Steam Deck, the Portal, and of course Nintendo with the Switch. You have any like stats on this thing? Like any? Did you look into the specs on this?
I looked into it. So they're gonna have two different versions. They're gonna have the Ally X, which is more powerful. And I believe the base is gonna have 512 gigabytes of storage, which honestly is not a lot. I looked at Destiny 2 the other day how much gigs it was because of my storage, and it was 150. But which is insane. So
Yeah.
you gotta watch what you play. But there hasn't been any price point yet or the release date. They're just saying the holidays, which is obviously probably the best time to ever release any consoles. They've done this numerous times with any console from PS5s and so forth. I believe Switch 2 is, correct me if I'm wrong, the one that was only released in the summertime. I don't remember a
Yeah.
Nintendo console being released this early in the year, quote unquote early.
Yes. Switch. I think the OLED, the initial Switch, the OLED Switch, and now Switch 2 was all summer releases. And the Portal and Deck came out like during like November.
Yeah.
Like the hardware days, like the new consoles came out.
I mean, the big thing too is that look, if you look at the bottom ticker and you look at the Steam Deck, is that it's not so far off. Maybe I'm missing two extended handles, but the specs.
Well,
What you got? What you got?
that's the Steam Deck, right?
Yes, the Steam Deck.
Here's I got the Portal here, and I'm again being a PlayStation kid. Like this thing was great. Like I got it, and when I first got it, people were like, "Oh no, you can't really do much with it." I'm like, "What do you mean?" Because unlike the Steam Deck, I'm not sure. Does the Steam Deck have like games built into it that you can just play, or like the Switch? Like the Switch, you can download games and they're
Yeah.
already built in. The Portal, heavy. It relies on internet connection. So you have to have your PS on if you want to, because it's basically like a remote backbone. So if you want to remote play to your PS5,
Hmm.
I can just do that. Or
So that's what I
if you
didn't
want,
like about it though, is that when I heard it was like a remote and then you got to stay on the internet connection the whole time, that's not what you really want. So for example, I've traveled numerous
yeah.
cruises and places with my girlfriend. I was like, and if I got the PS4, it was a complete waste of money. The beautiful thing about the Steam Deck is you download the games, you progress as far as you want, and when you get an internet connection that one day, it uploads to the Steam cloud. So if you want to go back on your PC and play this game, the progress that you played on the deck will transfer onto the cloud and your computer so you could continue the story. And I did that a lot for Elden Ring, Sekiro, especially. I can't remember. Those are like my two main games and that I was playing nonstop when I was on the road.
Yeah,
Or
this
at some
one
time
like
here and there.
I enjoy a lot. Like I can essentially just play my PS5.
Yeah.
But the whole having to have a stable internet connection kind of like it threw me off, but then it wasn't too bad because if you're in a place with good
Mhm.
connection, like I can go to any of my friend's house, but I can just remote right back into my PS and
But
be perfectly
but the big
fine.
thing was if you're, let's say you travel and you're on the road, uh, you're a working businessman,
Yeah.
you travel nonstop, and you get the hotel connection. It was just so complex
Yep.
to get that hotel internet connection because
And
once again,
then
it's a bunch of walls that you have to go through and click, and the
so
PS
that
didn't
was
have that.
another feature that they ended up rolling out, which was like, and I remember that like when I first got it, if you were doing like hotel Wi-Fi, Starbucks Wi-Fi, any of that stuff, you can't connect because those things open up an
Hmm.
external browser.
Yeah.
Now they push an update where it's like, all right, if there's an external browser, you can just scan it with your phone, and then it will remote right back to the device. Another thing now they kind of not removed it, but they extended the remote play aspect. And if you were a PS Premium user or subscriber,
Yeah.
you can now access all the PS Premium games like from that cloud just directly to the console, to the handheld itself. That way you could just play all those games and all the data and everything just transfers over. So like there's a lot of hits with it. There's a lot of misses with it. I was a fan. Like I played like half of God of War Ragnarok on it because I just wasn't home to play it.
Yeah.
And yeah, if you like to keep like the PlayStation, like the haptics, the controller, the feel of PlayStation, but on the go, this was like the way to go. Just the whole Wi-Fi thing kind of like threw me off. Like if I could download initially, like if like PSP days, if I could download initially and just play on the go no matter what, it'd be great. But the screen is huge. It feels like a PS5 controller. It feels very similar. So if you like that, you could go for it. But Steam Deck, that's your go-to.
Yeah, any computer games that I want to play, especially on my PC. And I said it when it came to Sekiro or Elden Ring, games like that. It was just the easiest thing to kind of pass over. Once again, another game I got to beat was Metal Gear Solid 1 when they did the remake and Metal Gear Solid 2 on that. And it was very smooth. Battery life is pretty good depending on what game you play. So I remember when I was playing Metal Gear Solid 1, I was on a plane going to Seattle, and dude, I think I lost like maybe 5% of battery on it. So it depends
That's
what
not
you
bad.
run on it. If you're running Elden Ring or some high graphics on it, the battery life is going to deplete. So
Well,
you
yeah,
just
you
kind of
played a
gotta play.
lot in Elden Ring on that one.
I would say, yeah, no, I definitely did. But more Sekiro. Sekiro was definitely the one that I was playing way more just because it was, for some reason, it was just easier to me and smoother, but I still got to play it on the PC. But there was dead times like I had when I was doing some overtime or whatever. I was like, and it was one, two,
And
three.
then the other handheld competitor in this one is Switch, and Switch 2 just came out. Right now their game library isn't like grand for the
Yeah.
Switch 2. But we'll see. But Nintendo is very proprietary with their own stuff, so we'll see.
And that's the thing is
Um,
their IPs and so forth. And the good thing about this, going back to the Ally, is that if you have Game Pass, then this is definitely going to be worth it for you. I pay for Game Pass. That's how I was able to play Expedition and other various games on there. You pay $10 a month on the PC gaming. Maybe you might have to pay for Ultimate because that's like their one way. Just like how PS Premium is the highest tier, they're going to make you pay the highest tier so that you can have this handheld and be able to go across the
Now,
handheld to computer, maybe to even Xbox too.
does Game Pass also work with the Steam Deck though?
No, that it doesn't.
Interesting.
That's where I was hoping for because I'm spending $10 a month on the subscription, so I want to get my money's worth out of it. And in reality, the only way to really get your money's worth is you got to sit down and play in front of the PC, which is
So
not a problem.
really,
But I just have a wide palette where I want to play on other consoles as well.
like with like the handheld, like the new era handheld stuff, now it seems like whatever subscription you want to pay for, that's gonna be your handheld choice. Like I have PS Premium.
Yeah.
PS Premium, I use the portal. If you're a Steam person, you're gonna go to Steam Deck, Game Pass, all the games on Game Pass.
Yeah, so
There's the
Steam Deck
Ally,
doesn't. You
and
don't
then
need.
Nintendo.
Yeah, Steam Deck. You don't need no subscription. You just buy the game and you play it. It's just no subscription base whatsoever, which is cool. And Steam always has some crazy sales as it goes forward. So you can
Yeah,
get a
they
game
do.
for like $8, or was it The Witcher 3, which is considered one of the best games ever. Like 2 weeks ago, it was only $1. They were really trying to like push this out. So you could play The Witcher 3 on the Steam Deck, which I have been, but I just had other games. Like the game is so
And
long.
similar to like PS, like I was a fan of the PlayStation Premium subscription because like there's a lot of games that I was gonna go buy or like I wanted to buy, and then it just comes out for free on PS Plus. So I'm like, okay, I'll just play that. So then I just have like a huge library of classics, remasters, remakes, and then new releases as they come out. And I'm like, dude, this is perfectly fine for me.
Yeah, I mean, look, another good benefit that the Game Pass has given me over this past weekend, and once again, once we get more news about the Xbox Ally, we'll definitely be talking about it. But a benefit that the Game Pass had given me this past weekend was going to play Gears of War Reloaded, that multiplayer beta. I'm gonna tell you this, man, and I gotta say, I am definitely a PlayStation guy. I was not built
Really?
because I was not. I'll be honest, I was not ready for this in terms of trying to take it seriously. Now, the reason why I say take it seriously is because when I used to play with my cousin nonstop, go over his house, he'd be playing Gears of War, him and his friends. And all I would just do when we played Horde or even multiplayer would just run up on people and just want to chainsaw them. Holding the B button, mashing it, vroom, and just run up. And it was like the biggest troll thing. I didn't know about that at that time. So first 2 games, I'm doing pretty good. I'm staying at a 1 KD. I'm trying my best. I was able to chainsaw somebody. But then later on when I had to play, my logo on the gamer tag said Xbox. And I was playing with the Xbox people. And I was just like, this is going to be a bad one, isn't it? And I got smoked.
So like all the OGs, like where now you had the people who played growing up, they came back and just going
the 30-plus-year-olds that got to put their kids for a nap, or the kids had a play date or something. They got on this weekend. I guarantee you they told their significant other, I need about like an hour and a half of time so that I can bust some new kids on this. Because I saw some videos too. You knew when somebody was on PlayStation. You knew somebody was on Xbox. One of the most famous streamers that got famous through this, which was Nick Merckx. Dude, I saw his gameplay and he was just bouncing, boom, 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 just putting kids in the spinner. Man, it was cool to see. But I was like, wow, like. This is a game that you missed out because you had a PlayStation. So now that they're doing the remaster on PS, you're going to see, I think, much more funny clips there.
Well,
kids getting smacked.
So going into that point, like, because I was always a PlayStation kid from one, like, I never really played Xbox. And on the Xbox, I think my uncle had one. And the most I played was, like, Skate 2 and Left 4 Dead. That was it. I didn't play anything else. So Gears was a huge thing during, like, 360 days. However, I was on PS3. And like this remaster, all my friends that were on Xbox who then moved over to PlayStation, PlayStation 5, whatever, they're talking about like Gears. I'm like, well, I want to see it when it comes out. So I was watching one of our friends play, and like I'm watching it, I'm like, dude, it's very reminiscent of like the OG like multiplayer games where it's not a huge lobby. There's not a million intro cutscenes to start a game and a lot of outro cutscenes when the game ends. No, it's like you load up quick, you play, the games are short, the games are very fast paced, and then it ends. And I'm like, I like this because it's very nostalgic on like how old game used to be where there was no fluff. It was like you get in, you have fun, you go crazy, game ends, you start another one. And you're in another one. And I was cool. Gameplay on Gears. I'm watching gameplay on Gears. I'm like, this is interesting. I never came from it, so it's gonna be fun to dive into this and see what it's about. I haven't played the beta yet when it comes out, like actually, because I want to do the campaign. I heard Gears campaign is actually one of the best ones out there, so I kind of want to do that first and then get into the multiplayer aspect. But I'm ready, and I'm ready to try to keep up with Xbox kids.
I gotta wish you good luck. I mean, the only way I'm gonna play this, I'm definitely gonna play this on PlayStation. Just having the Game Pass, might as well just download it for free and be able to play with you guys like that. But man, like the graphics were just smooth. It was crisp.
Yeah.
This was back in the day too, where you didn't you play these other games that I don't want, like Call of Duty, for example. I think there was a gun that was like the gun meta. It was like you running your shotgun and you're running. I forget the gun that was with the chainsaw, but it was like everyone was running shotguns and like you just needed skill. You needed to hit your shots and.
Our boy was telling me, he was like, power weapons is like a huge thing in that game. Like people would just fight for the power weapons, and once they get them, that's like where the fights are happening too.
Dude, I remember I picked up one of these, like, I guess it was like a grenade launcher. I forgot. It was like something, I think like a bombshell or something
Boomstick.
Yeah. So two guys were together, and I'm like, oh, this must be like a sniper. This is how you know I don't play this. So I don't want to get made fun of because of. Just shot it over there, double kill. I was just, whoa, like, let's go. Like, I was like, dude, it's... So
definitely, I tried
those power weapons, and that's where the beginning of those multiplayer games were, like Halo and all that stuff. It's like, you got to get those power weapons, and there was no modification when it came to those guns. Like, oh, this gun is going to be better. You pick it up, like M4A1s and the FAMASas and COD. Like,
it's like everybody starts out with the same stuff, and then the power up. It reminds me of, you ever played Unreal Tournament?
Yes.
Like, I played Unreal Tournament 3 and 2, and it kind of reminds me of that, where like the multiplayer, it was very fast paced. Everybody started with the same stuff, but you have your power weapons. and that
You
like
need
there's no
skill.
fluff.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need skill, like legit. And I like this when I was watching it.
Because I
Like,
keep on giving my flowers to Nick Merckx, where it's like, yo, this is where he gave it pro, but this guy has not, you see him streaming. He's playing COD, he's playing this game, he's playing that game. He jumped right back onto Gears, and the man was moving like a demon, dude.
it's
He was
one
just
of those
bouncing. It was
things.
like, oh yeah, I still got it, and it's like one of those games
Yeah,
where those multiplayer games where you put your time in, like you're not missing a beat, and he showed it off. It's
yeah.
all skill. It's not like, oh, I have this custom class so I could annihilate people, and it's kind of like a cheesy class. No, you got to have skill with this game. So I tip my cat
That's
off to all those Xbox guys that had those Gears of War stickers on their Xbox. I get it. I wish I had the Xbox back then because it was it was fun, but I'm not built for that multiplayer. I'm sorry. I'm
well.
gonna try to go
I'm
after my
I'm
cousin, and like that's it. Like I can't go after
on
other
behalf of the
ones.
PlayStation kids. I'm gonna dive in and see what the word is.
Nah, man, I wish you nothing but the best for it, man.
I
But
appreciate that.
yeah, no. Another thing that I feel like games, once again, that you do need skill is always going to be a fighting game, and that's where I believe Invincible is going to show us that once again you need to take time. Well, any fighting game, let's say, you need time to dive in, learn the combos, learn the moves, so that you can be better whenever you're playing multiplayer. Because any fighting game is it's never going to be a local multiplayer where it's me and you on the couch playing. It's going to always be to have fun playing online.
So are we
And
getting the tag assist game?
we're in another tag assist game. We're in the tag assist era. I don't know what else to say. We are in the tag assist era. We got 2XKO, Marvel Tokon Souls, Invincible now. Believe that's it. Just those three. But
Yeah,
like
it is
once again,
still two right now.
these games are coming out, and who knows what the next new Mortal Kombat is? Probably another
Well,
tag assist.
hopefully we don't have a tag assist. I'll go back to the one-on-ones, man. Street
Yeah,
Fighter and Tekken 8 have my heart because it's one-on-ones. Throw the hands.
yeah. So now
But let's
that
go with Invincible.
yeah. So once again, love this show. It's a great story. If you guys have not seen it on Amazon Prime, it's one of the best shows that could be on that streaming service. It's very bloody, very, very detailed story, and I believe they're only on season 3 right now. I gotta watch season 3, but I like to binge watch it all. But anyways, going into the game, this game looks exactly like Fighter Z. I saw a Twitter post where it was like you put it side by side,
Yeah.
and it literally looks like it. And Fighters was a great one. If those who don't know what I'm talking about, Fighters, Dragon Ball Fighters. Before they decided to do Spark and Zero and all that, that was like the main fighting game. 3v3, same concept. And the one thing that I love, that I love the detail of it, because once again, we're getting older, we're getting responsibilities. We can't spend 10 hours behind the console trying to learn a long string combo. So they were saying that the combos aren't going to be crazy long. It's going to be pretty simple. It's going to be more like you got to think more of a strategy, because some of these string combos, especially when you play Tekken, are just absolutely insane. If you could hit it, I tip my hat off to you. So they're not going to be the ones that you find long in Marvel 3, Marvel MVC, Marvel vs. Capcom 3, or Dragon Ball Fighters. But it does look interesting. If they do a beta, I would definitely play it. It's going to take some time for me to want to buy into it, because I just don't want to spend money. And then it's like, oh, I'm not playing this game anymore. It was just a 1-2 thing.
Well, that's what happened with Spark and Zero. Like I got big into Spark and Zero, and then the game just like died out.
That was a waste of
It's
70,
just
honestly, for me. I didn't. Yeah. I was just like, this game just doesn't make any sense. I was like, there's like no skill out here. Oh, if I pick a better character like Broly or something, I'm picking Go.
no. For Spark and Zero, you had a lot of skill because I was playing Chaozu and I was smoking people with Chaozu and like getting like high ranks. But no, you do get people who are beasts, and your character does matter a lot over the combos that it puts out.
That's
But
where I didn't like. I don't like that your characters matter though. Like you
yeah,
play any other game, and it's just like, okay, who has the skill? Who knows the combo list? Like that's where I respect, not because you chose like, you know, Beerus
now
or all these guys and you're gonna
with
dominate.
Invincible, are like with the Fighter Z aspect, is it going to be more like MK where it's combo heavy, or more like Tekken to where you have to really like know your character and your playstyle?
They didn't really go into too much detail with it, but I hope it's gonna go towards like Tekken wise, because you want to be able to know your character and learn the combos of it. You don't want to just depend on the power ups of a character, because in the Invincible universe, if you're smart enough, you just pick Omni-Man or any one of the Ultramites. I hope I said it right. One of like the species of Omni-Man because they're the strongest in like the whole universe. Or you even pick Invincible himself. So I hope that it's not like you have to know your combos, and it's just that each character has its own skill set. That's what I'm hoping on. But we're hitting those like the tag futures. I mean, how do you feel? The tag fighting is the future.
Uh, it's hit and miss because like if it's done well, it's fun, it's great. But if it gets very gimmicky, it's gonna pull me away. Like I think I've said this previously, but like Tekken Tag Team was like my all-time tag assist fighter
Hmm.
because of the way that the mechanics were. They implemented like the tag assist. Stuff like MK1, I was not a fan of. So I'm very interested to see what this is about. And
Yeah,
then since Omni Man is in this one, because he had an appearance in MK1, like I want to see how
I
his
loved
character
him.
plays in his game.
That's the one thing I gotta say
How
about
you?
MK1 with Omni Man was it was just so cool to see. Like if you hit like the was it the power up for MK and he was just
Yeah,
dodging. He dodged every single one. Like that was cool. I remember I was playing some other friends and I was just like trolling with them Omni Man. I was just like I knew how to get the combos going. And when I hit that special, I just heard the whole chat go, "What the hell? What the hell? Like what's going on?" It was the funniest thing, and I caught them. It was awesome, but. I mean, 3v3 is already enough, and then I just can only imagine what
we'll
Marvel
see.
Tokon is going to do 4v4. So this is, fighting games. Hopefully, it's a certain pace. You don't want to be
I
sitting down
mean,
for a fighting game playing like 20, fighting somebody for 20
the
minutes.
the Sparking Zero tag assist wasn't that like it wasn't that bad because the way you trade out fighters, I was a fan of that. Like if you can just have your ones but trade out your characters, I'm not upset about that. But like having your ones and then there's like an assist character just in case to help you get free
Yeah,
of whatever situation you're in, that's where it kind of pulls me away.
yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, if it's 3v3, you should be able to use all three lives. But yeah, I get what
We'll
you mean
see.
because we didn't like MK1. It was like you could use that cheat to be a cheese with the tag assist, and at the end of the day, you have one
Yeah.
life. It just didn't make sense, but we got to see what's
How
going
how are
on.
you taking on man as a father in this one?
I mean, as a father, it got to be towards the bottom of the list. Like, spoiler alert for our next topic, but he's just not on our top three fathers in gaming, or even technically he could be in gaming because he was representing MK1, but in
So
pop culture as
in
well.
light Yeah, in light of Father's Day, we decided to do our top threes and our top threes fathers in gaming. I mean, do you want to start with your list? Go one by one. Give me your people, your reasoning behind the people. What's on your mind?
Yeah, and guys, if and girls, if you did not listen to, we love doing these tier lists. So last week we did top 10 remakes that we want in gaming. It was a
Yeah.
very unorthodox list. I think we have very valid points, and I hope that somebody out there listens to us. But here goes our top three list in fathers in gaming in honor of Father's Day that happened yesterday. So my first one is going to be Ethan Winters. Now Ethan Winters was in RE7 and in RE Village. Now, what a father! He went into some hellhole in Europe and saved his baby daughter, his infant daughter, that was still swallowed up in cloth. Out there, lost limbs, broke bones. Spoiler, sacrificed himself to save his daughter. That's like the ultimate tier that he loves his child because the whole intro with it that he just got absolutely bum rushed by the SWAT team and they just took his daughter from him was absolutely just bananas. Great start to the story. But no, he went out to Europe, saved his daughter, beat numerous like insane villains, and ultimately became one of the best dads in the game. He just gave his life to make sure his daughter had a future.
And towards the end, he came out with her. I'm hoping.
No, no, no. I said a spoiler. He didn't. He had sacrificed
Oh
himself.
shit!
Yeah, I forgot you were gonna play that game. Oh, I'm sorry about that. I had
No,
to.
I think we lost spoilers in this one.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Now, second one, Roast from Horizon Zero Dawn. The first one, not the Forbidden West. Another great dad just takes in a child that's not even his. Child just randomly shows up, names her Aloy, gets banished from the community for taking in was they love to call the bastard childs like
Yeah.
parentless children. takes him in, raises her, shows her how to hunt, shows her how to fight, and Aloy becomes this like incredible warrior throughout the whole both games. And this was all learning from the skills of Rose. Forgot how he passed, but he ended up passing. I believe he got like attacked by the machines, or it was one of the clans out the clans that had happened in one, and he's like still remembered even in the second edition of Forbidden West. So it was really cool to see that whole beginning aspect of who he is and how he raised her to be. Once again, taking the ultimate sacrifice. I mean, in gaming, it feels like, I don't want to sound like a bias list, but it's like you sacrifice yourself for your child. It's always going to be memorable.
Yeah.
Next one, and my last one of my top 3 is John Marston from Red Dead Redemption 1. Wants to give a better life for his family, helps out the U.S. government to take down his whole gang, goes through battles, nearly dies numerous times, and once again, he was just trying to be a better father figure for his son, teaches him how to hunt, teaches him, just cares about his family. He just doesn't want to deal with no more business that he's going to get arrested and so forth. So ultimately, in the end, was able to get his son out of danger, save his whole family, and takes a bunch of bullets from U.S. Marshals. And at the end of Red Dead Redemption 1, you then play as his son, which is like a good like remembrance in a way, so he could continue that open world play. So
I would definitely say John Marston he's one of the GOATs. He's one of the GOATs of all time.
You just got to play the other. You got to play the other games. I think, like I said, my top is Ethan Winters. I'm sorry, because there's more to it than me just basically spoiling that. And there's a whole backstory with it. But once again, it ties in the whole thing when it comes to like Seven and Village to understand Ethan Winters. So
he was in 7.
He was the main character. 7. The only big thing was I still don't know why he just didn't have a face. He had his hair, and it was just like this.
That was about it.
Like, and then he just all the hands are coming out, but his face is just covered. I don't know why. Make a character, man. You guys got millions of dollars. Make up somebody. Pay somebody. I don't know what to tell you.
All right, I have a list.
Okay.
And my list is going to be very interesting. Mm-hmm. It might be traditional. Who knows? But starting out as the GOAT of all GOATs, in my opinion, is Kratos from God of War. Now, if you played the OG God of War, going against the Greek mythology timeline, that man, as a Spartan, he was going through hell, man. There was a lot of stuff going on in his life. And just becoming the God of War and going after the gods who made him slay his family and like everything that happened with like this, it was a lot. It's a lot. But he was a Spartan, he went through a lot of stuff, he was very aggressive, very like He was feared. He was a very feared Spartan. Mm-hmm. Going into the Norse mythology aspect, God of War and God of War Ragnarok, he has his son Atreus, and now that Spartan, that maniac, that monster per se, right, that was in him, he had to control that, and he had to teach his son to not only find his powers and be a god with some type of morality, but teach him who he is and everything that his mother left for him. Kratos kind of, he showed a lot of restraint, and, he became a very strong father for Atreus. They had a lot of back and forths, right? You can attest to this. Like, Atreus was a little asshole at certain points, but Kratos, like, he held his own, taught his son what's right, what not to do. And even he stuck his neck out for him. No matter how many times Atreus ever messed up, Kratos was there to help out, fix the problem, take care of him. So I definitely say Kratos is like my top one. Second on my list. Do you have any constraints about Kratos? How do you feel about Kratos?
I think Kratos is definitely a great father figure. I mean, especially in the games that when you play just God of War, the Norse mythology he just wanted to live his life. He didn't want no problems. The problems came to him, but he just wanted to live his life with his son.
He was trying to put his past aside. And there was a lot in his past.
And they kept on coming back. They just kept on poking the bear. Like I forgot the villain one, but they just kept it. They did not let him live his life. It was like, no,
he has to handle business.
You got to protect your child.
Second on my list, and this one might spark some controversy. Joel from Last of Us.
That is not protecting your child, but continue.
So the reason I put Joel on my list is because similar to how Ross was in Horizon, Joel also took this little girl, Ellie, and kind of raised her as her own, and, like brought her through this apocalyptic world. And then even going back in like the beginning of the game before you even meet Ellie, his relationship with his daughter, his actual daughter, before what happens. I mean, everybody probably already seen what happened. But his relationship with his daughter seemed amazing, and the way that she cared for him, he cared for her. And even though it was like very like it was a short intro, right, about their relationship, what ends up happening like hits deep. Yeah. It's very deep because you can see the emotion of like how Joe really cares for her and how she really cared for him and like how great they were. Fast forward into Joe and Ellie's relationship. Joe, like in the beginning, was like, "Dude, I'm not doing this again." You can tell that like he's like, "Dude, I'm not dealing with this again." And then end up just like raising Ellie as like one of his own. And it got to a point to where like it's either Ellie or it's saving humanity. And he was like, "Bro, I gotta save this girl, bro. Like she's gonna end up dying, and she's never gonna like actually enjoy life in the apocalypse." I see you shaking your head there.
No, because it's like because I would never forget. I get it. Like a kid does not have like. I get it as a parent, like you always want the best for your kids and everything like that. But if we remember the whole game, it's just like he just made it a mission. Like suddenly he gained feelings for Ellie and wanted to save her, but the whole time when he just at the end ultimately lied to her and caused more trouble than benefiting humanity. She was like, I just want to save humanity and so forth. And we all know, I don't want to get into detail. We know what happens in number 2, not too far into it, but he's already like kind of an outcast because it's like, yo, you just messed us all up. Like this could have been, she could have saved everybody and so forth. And she was willing to do that, even though she was a kid. I feel like when you're in an apocalypse universe, your brain is just like much more mature than an infant, than young teenager watching TikToks. You got to think about the future. So she knew it.
Here's another one. What? So 2, right? How extensive and how massive 2 was, right? And everything that happened. Do you think that if Joel was a piece of shit and people didn't really like him, that they would have went to the extent that they went to? If Ellie didn't really love him as much as like a father figure, that she would have went to the extent that she went to basically get her revenge?
Yeah, I mean, it was
Joe. Listen, he did something very fucked up, which was he didn't save humanity. He did something very selfish. He lied to her. He definitely lied to her. He was like, but he was doing it for her sake. He was like, I don't want you to, bro. She was like what, like 12?
12.
When they were gonna like take her in to like
do the surgery,
like to do surgery, something like that. Yeah. Like she would have died there. Yeah, she would have died, but she wouldn't have experienced the rest of her life.
Yeah, but look.
But then at the same time,
what happens at the end of number 2. Like she had nothing's there. It was like her girlfriend leaves, no baby, nothing. She gets left.
She's also missing 2 fingers too.
Missing 2 fingers, dude. It's like
spoiler.
But still, it's like
but she is living life. She's experiencing life. All the hurts, all the ups and downs, all the pitfalls. Even in an apocalyptic world, she's experiencing life. And that's all something that she probably would never experience if she would have been clipped at like 12 to save the rest of the world on a whim.
At the end of the day, it didn't make the world any better. It's like they're still fighting. They still haven't found a cure. And once again, like he caused a whole war that I feel like pulled back humanity from progressing. Like he agreed to do this. This was going to be the thing, and I get it. Like, you want to protect the child no matter what as a father figure, but he could definitely be at a lower list. Like, but I would not put him at a top 3. He's I gotta say bottom tier because
he's gonna sit in my top 3.
He couldn't even put my top 10. That's what I'm saying.
All right, and then my third, which is also a lot of spoilers, especially because it's a brand new game that just came out. Renoir from Expedition 33.
Like, we talk about Renoir. Expedition 33 so much. Like, shout out to them.
I mean,
I hope to meet these guys one day.
Top 10. But this is definitely going to be in my top 3. Only because like Renoir, like spoilers, heavy spoilers, signs up something. Um, Renoir, like he went tooth and nail for his family.
Mm-hmm.
And like they said numerous times, family is complicated. There's a lot of tricky, very tricky situations he was put in to basically save himself, his daughter, his wife, his son, if you know, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm trying to do it without spoiling it, but he seemed like the antagonist from the start
From literally
to
the
the
start,
end.
yeah.
Like he was the antagonist.
Mm-hmm.
And again, spoilers again. You when you finish the game, you get to the very end, and then you actually see what's going on. Renoir is not really like the villain here. Renoir is actually trying to save his family. He's trying to save like this repeated cycle that just keeps happening
The
over
sanity
and
for the
over and over
family.
again. The sanity not only for his family, but for people that's coming in the future. And he's like I don't know how to explain it without spoiling so much, but
You just gotta
he's
play that
legit.
game, honestly. Like
Yeah,
that's a
he's just
game
trying
that
to pull
it's
people out of just like this repetitive cycle, like this evil cycle that people just keep getting into. And it Renoir and Joe play against each other
mhm.
because Renoir's thing is like, dude, I'm not trying to I'm trying to save myself and my family because they keep repeating something because they can't let go, right? Like his family can't let go of something that
It's
happened.
grief, yeah.
Trying to spoil it,
But the thing is that I
and
feel like
because
that's two different universes. One, this is
yes,
universe, and
but
the other one's like
because
apocalyptic,
because
realistic.
the family, so like the paintress, let's say, I'm
Hmm.
gonna the paintress, she can't let go of something, right? Like
Of
she
course.
can't. So she's keeps rebuilding this repetitive cycle,
Hmm.
which is ruining everybody, right? Joel's thing was he couldn't let go of Ellie. So because of that, you're still in an apocalyptic cycle. But if Joel would have let go of Ellie, Last of Us 2 probably would never happen.
No.
If Renoir like let his wife actually like if she went through the process of letting go, this repetitive process wouldn't have been happening. I don't know how to really explain if I'm spoiling it, but dude, Renoir goes through tooth and nail,
I
fight after
think,
fight,
I
story
think,
after story, just trying to talk like um not sanity, but he's trying to bring his kids, his kin, his family back into like one thing, and then they're like they're fighting him the whole time, and he's like, dude, I'm just trying to make things right, even though you guys see me as the villain. Trust you, I'm not. Trust me, I'm not the villain.
yeah, we
So
don't want to spoil too much
I
into
have
it
my way.
because I think it's still such a new game that it's like you give a chance to people play. I saw
Yeah,
one of
man.
my other best friends that he got to play like through a certain part, and we were all watching the share play, and we were just laughing at his reaction because we're like, yeah, this game's crazy. But
Yeah,
I
I'm
gotta
I'm
say,
gonna
Renoir
do
is
new game
definitely
plus. I gotta do
you
new
could
game
do
plus on
that.
this thing
That's lit.
because apparently like the story hits different when you
When
do
you
it.
know it
So
all, yeah.
yeah, when I'm done platinuming this, because I'm almost finished. Yeah, I'm gonna do the game plus on this one.
No, I'm excited, man. I'm excited to hear that for you. I mean, dude, once again, game platinum is super tough to get, and yeah, I mean,
How do how
as we go into our next episode, like I just want to say shout out to all the dads out there in the world, man. This is your day, celebrated with your loved ones, and we hope that you get a gaming session through this day. I know significant others definitely have something planned out for the day. Enjoy it. Gaming's always gonna be there for you, and wish all those dads out there nothing but the best. And yeah, Jules. I mean, another episode. I mean, every episode we do together, I feel like it gets much more exciting. And gaming is still. There's always a
I
new day in
mean,
gaming. I mean,
there's always a lot to talk about. So it's never gonna end. So we'll see. Like there's always new stuff. There's new games. There's new stories. New
good or bad
IPs.
too. You know,
Yeah,
for the
bro.
most
It's
part.
always developing. So
Yeah,
it's gonna be fun.
I'm excited for the next week's episode and looking forward to it. I want to thank everybody once again for listening, watching. We love you. We love to see your support. If you ever have any comments, don't feel free to comment. If you have any suggestions in our takes in gaming, feel free to comment. Let us know. We're here to make your day enjoying, especially if you're in that morning rush hour on Monday morning or looking for a late night listen. Help us out by just
Also, just let us know what's your top three college in gaming.
I would love to know the top 3 fathers in gaming for real, and hopefully it's different from ours and it's something that we find very interesting, or we might just antagonize it just like I did to Jules. So, guys and girls, have a great day. Have a great rest of your week. We'll see you next time.